I'll be bringing you another insight, another important issues. You know, what I'm going to share with you today is how can you answer your children questions about sexuality, because this is very important. Most children, they have this questions, they ask these questions often to their parents. And one of the great things about teaching our children about sexuality is that they often keep us on our toes by asking us questions. If it's asking that kind of questions, they do that a lot. So, but the question for you now is, how do you answer them when they ask you question about sexuality? It's very important. When your child asks you a question, you try to remain calm and answer the question. Remaining calm and not avoiding the question, you are sending your child a message that you are always open to talking to them about sexuality. Yes, so guys, please, thank you all for subscribing to this channel. If you're not if you have not yet subscribed, please, you see that red button down there, click on it and subscribe, because I'll be bringing you insights on creative education, on how you can help your children to fulfill their incredible potentials, and also how you can help them to grow, to develop, and also how you can use discipline lovely and effective. So guys, by the time you answer your children questions about sexuality comfortably, the message you are sending to them is that it will enable your child to become comfortable talking with you about sexuality, and to continue to come to you for more answers. A lot of parents worry more about exactly what they will say when asked a question, instead of how to say it. Your tone is just as important, if more so, than what you even say. So the tone, the way you answer the children the question, the tone that you use is very much important than what you say. So a child will, will more remember, they will vividly more remember your warm, your welcoming tone than a content in which you even want to say. So let's be conscious of the tone, of the way we approach the answers to those questions. When answering your child's question, guys, be sure to give your child the accurate information, while also letting him or her to know your views as well, and also your value. So when you think about it, who could be better to teach your child values about sexuality than you? So guys, our values are personal beliefs that affect how we think, how we feel, and also how we act. So values can change over time with new knowledge and life experiences. Some values that we want to teach our kids may come easy to us because we feel so strong about them, while others we need to learn the thoughts very well. So one way that you can start to think about your value is to look into the definition of sexuality. You need to know the definition of sexuality and also come up with a value that you would like to teach your children for, for each component of sexuality. If you don't know more about that, you need to know them, so that any question that they throw to you, you can be able to know how to answer that. The idea there is that you should keep your answers brief and uncomplicated. It shouldn't be complicated. Your answers should be brief, so that they can be able to understand. So we start with a simple answer, and also your child, give your child more information they need to know if he or she continues to ask you more questions. Remember that if you don't know the answer to the question that whatever question that your child threw to you about sexuality, it's okay to admit that you don't know it. Then look into it, go and look into it, and get back to your child. Teaching your child about sexuality is an ongoing process. You do that every day. So here are for some of the basic steps for answering your child questions about sexuality that we suggest that you have to use them regularly, because I myself, I use them regularly also. So these steps will help you. It will help you to give your child the right amount of information, and also share your view as well, and also your values. So in addition, these steps will give you some selling time, as that you can communicate effectively with your children. So the step number one is for you to normalize and validate the child's question, and then ask the child why he or she is asking you this question. So this is really a good question. You understand? So you have to normalize the question, you have to validate it, then ask your child, why are you asking me that question? How come you are asking that question today? So if you ask your child that, it means that you are validating the child's question and you are trying to normalize it. So this step will reassure that the child, that it will make the child to feel that he or she is asking a normal question. Because if you don't make that child feel that he or she is asking a normal question, the child might be shy, and the child might not come to you again to ask you such a question. So it will also give you a sense of what caused your child to ask such a question, and where he or she is getting the information, because something might have prompted that. So it is left for you to validate the question, ask your child why he or she is asking such questions, so that you can be able to know where he or she is getting the information from. Did he or she hear it somewhere, or is anyone involved in that? So very, very important, this first step. So the second step is for you to ask your child what he or she thinks the answer of the question is. This is very important. So what do you think? By the time you ask your child, why do you ask such a question, that is the first stage. So you're able to understand where the question is coming from and where the child is getting information from. Then you proceed to the second stage, which is asking your child what he or she thinks about the answer. So you can ask your child question like this: what do you think? So this gives you an idea. It gives you an idea of what your child already knows and the sort of language he or she uses to express it. You get? So it will educate you more on what your child already know about that particular question on sexuality. So guys, the third step is for you to answer the question honestly, based on the child's response and your value. So take advantage of the opportunity to introduce your view and also your value as well, and also to give your child a honest and accurate information about his or her question. So this stage is a stage you answer that question honestly, and again respond to the child by introducing the value, the thing you need that child to know about that question he or she have asked you. So the first stage is for you to ask the child if he or she understands the answer, and that is the last stage. It's very important to ask back the child the question whether he or she understood the answer that you have given to the child. So does the answer, does that what you answer, does that answer your question. So this is an example of how you ask it to your children. Does that answer your question? So the step allows a parent to make sure that the child understood the answer. Yes, so try different words to resolve, or maybe different words, or maybe different material, different resources if your child doesn't understand it the first time. So try it more, and I believe the child is going to understand it the more and more. So guys, I suggest that you also use a teachable moment to educate your child about sexuality. So teachable moments are everyday opportunity that can be used to talk to our children about sexuality and other tough topics. There are some issues that are, that they are tough. For example, this issue of sexuality, you use this moment. Teachable moment is a very day opportunity that you can use to talk to our children. So during teachable moments, you may come across issues related to sexuality, and then engage your child in conversation while you are watching the television, or maybe while you are watching a movie or listening to a music, or maybe looking at the internet site. So talking about personal experiences and other people's experience, like family members or friends etc, can help your child at that moment. So reading a newspaper or magazine, the most important part of teachable moments is asking your child what he or she thinks about sexuality issues, and then being ready to listen. So you need to teach your child about that. Make use of that teachable moment, and I tell you that you will not regret that. Your children will use the opportunity, any opportunity you find, maybe when you're watching television with your children, use it and teach them about those tough topics that they need to know. Guys, before I round off this video today, let me give you an example of how you can use your teachable moments. So you and your teen or your preteen child can be watching a television show, and maybe in one scene the or character, they are passionate, maybe you see they are passionately kissing, or and also maybe they might end up having sex, or maybe they do not end up having sex. So during a conversation or after the show is over, you can start a conversation with your child immediately by asking what he or she thinks about the couple having sex. So this moment is very, very important. And you can follow them up with one or two or more specific questions, maybe such as, do you think the situation was realistic? By the time you ask your child, your teen, this question, do you think that we are ready to have sex? So these are the questions you ask your child. So I can also ask them, how do you think having sex might affect their relationships? And again, what are some of the consequences that they might have to deal with? So did they protect themselves against unplanned pregnancy or sexual transmitted diseases? These are the questions that you need to ask your teen. So by the time you ask them that, you can also ask them, did the couple know each other well to have sex, or do they act responsible, or are they planning to get married? Do you understand? These are the questions. Do you believe that only people who are in love or married should have sex? By the time you ask them this question, you are creating that bond. The discussion is so tough actually, but after you have listened to your child's thoughts and feelings, you can then share your own thoughts concerning the situation, and which is very, very important. So you also include your values on sexual activity and dating. So many times during a teachable moment, parents will realize that they have a lot in common with their children. And often a parent will simply need, they'll simply need to affirm his or her child thoughts as well, and also feelings, because their values are already in agreement. So I believe that this simple example I gave to you is going to be of help to you in having this teachable moment with your preteen or your teen. Ask them that questions. It might be tough, but you will find out that you discover that you might have a common value between you and that your child, and that will also help you to also introduce a new value, what you want them to know about the sexuality. So guys, I'm going to stop here for today, and I believe this video have been of help to you. If it has, please like it, share it to your friends, and please don't forget to subscribe and also hit notification bell so you know when next I'll be posting a new video. Bye for now.